What's up, guys? What's up? Man, what a crazy night. Would you guys believe? Let me ask this question. Are you guys seeing me for the first time right now? What a crazy night. I just did the whole show. Y'all would not believe this. I just did the whole show. Wow. I did the whole show. My streaming software said I was live. Dog, I wish I would have recorded it on the back end. I just did the entire show thinking that you guys were seeing it. Oh my goodness. Well, let's do it again. And this time it's going to be quick. Wow. So I said hello to all of the early commenters. I did all of that. So let me just rapid fire. Hello to the beautiful ladies in the chat. I know I saw Lanisha in here. I saw the real Missy in here. I can't remember who else. Y'all said with no camera. Nah, I had the camera on. But see, and let me make sure it's streaming properly before I continue. The thing is, the software shows the camera, right? Yeah, so I can see myself, but the software said I was live. But apparently I wasn't. So that's crazy. But anyway, let's get into it, man. Like I said, hello to the early commenters. The lovely ladies in the chat, I already said hello to them. Let's get into it. I'm going to do this very quick because I literally just did 40 minutes worth of a show. And I'm not going to be here for 40 more minutes. Really quick, since all of you guys are here, we can get right to it. Yeah, I sure did respond to your donation. It's crazy. But all right, look, let's jump into it, man. Penalties. Let's talk about that first. I don't know if there were any injuries. If it was, I missed them, but I didn't have any on my sheet. Let's go through the penalties. Then we're going to go through some of the key moments. Then we're going to go through the things I like. And then I'm out of here. Penalties. Deontay Johnson was called for offensive PI early in the first quarter. Questionable call. Illegal shift by Chase Claypool in the second quarter. James Daniels called for holding in the second quarter. Critical to the drive. Very critical to the drive. Dan Moore called for holding. Negates a touchdown by Kenny Pickett. Rudolph called for intentional grounding in the end zone, which resulted in a safety. Illegal formation. Later in the third quarter, Zach Gentry was covered up. Not sure which player had him covered, but needless to say, it was a penalty. Then there was a holding by Kevin Rader in the third quarter. Delonte Scott was called for roughing to start the fourth quarter. There was a holding by Trey Norwood on a third down, mind you, in the fourth quarter. And then Trent Scott was called for holding. There's really no need to talk about him because, he's not going to be on the team. All right, first drive offensively. Quick swing pass to Benny Snell to start the drive. Mitch Trubisky escapes pressure on second down, but he misses Deontay Johnson down the field. But he comes right back and he finds Chase Claypool for a 28-yard reception on third down to move the chains. That was great to see. Great to see Chase Claypool in that particular position, playing in the slot, getting a first down, deep downfield. Good to see Mitch Trubisky pushing the ball. But again, this is what I need to see out of Claypool. I think Claypool has the opportunity to really eat in that slot. I think he has a huge opportunity there. Next, I wrote here offensive line. Not looking good on pass pro. Mitch Trubisky had to avoid pressure quite a few times on that drive. If there's a positive, Trubisky was able to avoid pressure using his legs. And then, I see the donation. I'm coming right to you, Jameer, but I have to say this. The Wizard of Oz misses the field goal. Whoa, Boz. Time out, brother. I'm not going to go there yet, but I hope we're not looking into the future and potentially having you in the office for a visit during the season. Remember the last time you got paid and you had that off season? Well, you just got an extension. I hope, Mr. Boswell, that history is not repeating itself. I know it's preseason. I know you're just knocking the dust off. I get it. But I got my eye on you. Don't disappoint us, Bos. Go out there and be what we're accustomed to seeing. But it's just not good seeing any missed field goals. All right? All right. Let's grab the donation. Round of applause to Jameer Sanders. And you guys confirm that you can hear it. Jameer Sanders says, much love. Keep up the hard work. Never seen Tomlin this pissed. He about to rip the offensive line bad. Yeah. Oh, so he went crazy in the presser. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, round of applause. Appreciate the donation. Definitely thank you for that. And thank you as well, Kev. So fun. Let me give you one. Really appreciate your donation. I saw it again as I was doing the show, so I thought. So thank you for that. All right, moving along, man. First defensive series. Levi Wallace with very tight coverage on first down. Good to see that. He had a sneaky good game too, coverage-wise. Would you guys agree? Levi Wallace had some moments. But then Trevor Lawrence was able to pick up 3rd and 5. He found a spot in the zone. The Steelers were then faced again with a 3rd and 3, and the Steelers at that time were able to get off the field later on in the drive. It was good pressure by Jannard Avery and good coverage on the back end by Sutton. Jags also missed the field goal. So at this moment, those guys were, Boswell and their kicker was just playing out there. They didn't really. Oh, wait, timeout. Now that I think about it, was that Boswell that kicked that first kick? Can you guys confirm that for me? Because I know Skiba played too. But was that Boswell? Because I might have just went off on Boswell for no reason. Do y'all remember? Was that Boswell or Skiba? I think it was Bos, but I'm going to honestly say I wasn't really paying attention. It was Boswell? Okay, one of y'all said yeah. Okay, all right. So my rant of him, little mini rant, was accurate. All right. So anyway, neither one of those guys wanted to hit a field goal, so we're back to square one. Really quick, I'm going to blow through these guys. On the second drive, Kevin Dotson, I noticed that he came in replace of Kendrick Green. That's important, right? Because Kendrick Green remained in the game later on. So it looks like Dotson might be back in the swing of things as the potential starter. We shall see. Benny Snell had a drop on that drive. Mitch Trubisky, threw it over the middle. He dropped it. And then right after that, number 49 of the defensive line of the Jaguars destroyed Dan Moore. And they got the sack. The Steelers later on gave up 3rd and 7 to move the chains for the Jags. TJ Watt gets a sack. But then on the very next play, they give up a 3rd and 8 with a 13-yard scramble by Lawrence. And Steelers were finally able to get off the field after a third down. And like I said, Jaguars hit the field goal there. Third drive of the night, Jaylen Warren comes in with the first team. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Let me say something about that really quick, though. I know some of you guys are ready to get Benny Snell out of town. But I want to say something right here in a moment to remind you. So anyway, Jaylen Warren comes in. Deontay Johnson is called for the offensive pass interference, which was very questionable. Steelers were forced to punt, and at this point they were 1 for 4 on 3rd down. But that great punt by Presley Harvin, and a nice tackle downfield on kick coverage by Benny Snell. I wrote this in parentheses. Keep this in mind, folks. That is where Benny Snell's value is, right? So I know, again, highlights would tell you, oh, Warren is better than him. Okay, maybe you feel like Warren is a better player as far as a running back. But Benny Snell has been a solid and a solidified contributor on special teams for the last 2 years. It's going to be hard to get him off the roster, folks. I know some of you guys gave me crap last week by me saying that Snell wouldn't get cut and da-da-da-da-da, and then Warren started getting these reps in practice. Okay, but remember what I just said. Special teams is the key. I did find out after looking at the game again, Warren had some snaps last week as well, but at special teams. But Benny Snell is a cog. You know, he's a piece of that. He's kind of like what Dangerfield was, right? Most people tried to figure out why did we always keep Dangerfield on the roster? Well, that was why. Because backup players, which all of these running backs are, have to be on special teams and contribute. Benny Snell has been doing that. So honestly, the real question is whether or not the Steelers are going to keep 3 or 4 running backs. And if they keep 3, is it McFarland or Warren? By the way, Anthony McFarland had a nice kick return later on in the game. So there's where your battle is. Again, I'm telling you guys, I think Benny Snell's position is solidified. Now, if it's a surprise cut, okay, I'm not going to be mad. I'm just going off of what I think. So always remember that when you're trying to, quote fingers, battle me or challenge me in comments. I don't have any allegiance to any of these people. I'm just going off of what I think based on how the team is constructed. That's all. Whether we're right or wrong, we'll see. But anyway, let's keep it moving. What else I got here? Anything else important? Yes, Kenny Pickett comes in on the 4th drive, the number 2 quarterback. 3rd down conversion to Claypool gets negated because of James Daniels. I'm going to talk about him in a moment. Kills the drive. All right. Very next drive, right before the 2-minute warning, which was some weird sequence happened there where they allowed the play to happen after the 2-minute warning. That was crazy. And I think that might have been a drop because it looked like the ball did come out, and hit the ground a little bit. But anyway, right after that, Casey able to get a very nice tackle to end that drive. Devin Bush had a nice blitz as well to end that drive. And there you have it. 5th drive, Kenny Pickett looks poised and accurate. Those are the 2 words I use to describe his play tonight. Poised and accurate. On the final drive before the half, he uses Deontay Johnson and Freiermuth to get down the field. Threw a touchdown to Freiermuth. Excuse me, I keep saying the wrong names, guys. I'm trying to speed through this. Again, I did this already 40 minutes ago. Hits the first touchdown to Deontay Johnson, gets called back because of the penalty, but then comes right back. He finds Benny Snell. Benny Snell able to get his way into the end zone, wisely using his shoulder, lowers his shoulder, dives for the pylon. And there you have it. And Kenny Pickett's night is over. Gunnar O has a fumble late in the 3rd quarter. Justin Lane gets an interception late in the 4th quarter. And Mason Rudolph ends the drive with the touchdown to Snead, which ended up being the game winner. So very interesting, man. All 3 quarterbacks had some real decent play. Rudolph played well. He probably had the best numbers because he played longer. But nobody played bad tonight, in my opinion. So there you have it as far as the quarterbacks. But I think clearly Kenny Pickett is the number 2, as it showed tonight, I would think. He's continuing to ascend. He had a better performance tonight than in the first week. I mean, we saw more of him. Like I said, Kenny Pickett to me tonight was not only impressive, poised and accurate. Loved it. Even like reading the blitz, how he threw that shot to Freiermuth down the seam. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Good recognition. And, he's decisive in where he wants to go. Love it, love it. All right, let's talk about some of the key motivators, man, that, my key takeaways from the night, and then we're going to come right into the chat. Matt Canada, folks. Let me tell y'all something. If you don't know anything, there's one thing you can count on. Matt Canada is going to move that pocket, and I'm cool with it. You saw it with all 3 quarterbacks tonight, all 3 of them, and I'm cool with that. You know why I'm cool with that? Well, for one, a lot of those plays were working. We saw play action, we saw boots, we saw sprint outs. Like the little quick sprint outs and hitting the guys on the out route. Little guys like Tyler Snead. Imagine that being Calvin Austin or George Pickens. I like that. But the second reason why I like getting that pocket on the move is because that offensive line. My next bullet point. Offensive line is looking a little shaky, guys. A little shaky. It's early. I'm not making a full determination yet. I'm just saying, a little shaky. We'll see. We won't really know what this offensive line really is until the season starts, right? We're getting more looks at it in this game than we did the defensive line. I'll be there in a moment. But I need to see more real game. I just need to see more. But what I'm doing right now is I'm not calling it. I'm not calling anything, whether it's good or bad. It's just things that I notate and I keep an eye on. Here's the concerns for me on offensive line. Not so much Kendrick Green, because I expect Kevin Dotson to get that spot back. So I'm still watching Kendrick Green, but the fact that Kendrick Green started, then they played Dotson, and they played Dotson for a decent amount of time, then they brought Kendrick Green back. I think Dotson will be able to get his spot back, so to speak. I think he wins the competition. We'll see, but if Kendrick Green wins it, great. Whoever the best guy is, great. But my biggest concerns right now, Dan Moore and James Daniels. James Daniels, come on, man. Bruh. This is 2 consecutive games where you've had significantly bad plays. Come on, man. And then you have a penalty to boot. Bruh. You got bread in your pocket. We paid you. You got to get it together. Dan Moore, I need you to step it up. But also, we all know Dan Moore was a later round draft pick, a fourth round left tackle. Nobody expected him to even play as good as he played last year. He's going to be up and down. He's got to get better because now we've decided that you're the guy. But I look at Daniels even worse. Even worse. Because, come on, brother, you played good in Chicago. What's happening here? Again, I'm not going to call it tonight, but I got this on you. So if you continue to struggle, we could all say, man, we saw that in preseason. Come on, man, get it together. Y'all got to get it together. If I'm Coach Tomlin, I'm playing them boys again next week. O-line would be out there at least for the first half. Yeah. Because y'all need that work. Mason Cole ain't looking half bad. You know who else ain't looking half bad? Chooks. Okorafor. Chooks is actually, over the last 2 games, is looking like one of the better offensive linemen. Come on, guys. Now let's talk about the defensive line. All right, let me sum this up really quick. I can't call it yet. I need to see the first team unit out there for an extended amount of time. I'll give you a case, very, very simple case in point. Shout out to father-in-law Leonard. He texted me during the game saying, hey, what you think about that run D? And I'm like, it's too early to tell. They gave up a couple runs tonight, but then there was a couple plays where they limited things to, short runs. But you can't make a determination on what a defensive unit is in a quarter and a half. Because what was happening tonight with the Steelers is it was a lot of mix and match. Like the front 7, and of course, no Cam Hayward, but even the rest of the guys, when Ogunjobi and all those dudes was out there and Alu, they didn't play long. By the early part of the second quarter, it was mix and match. You were seeing dudes, it was backup players with starters, and they was doing it on the front, and then they would do it with the linebackers, and then they would bring the starting back, and then they would, Minka went out early, and then, it was so much mix and match that I personally can't gauge off of that whether they will be good. You keep an eye on it, of course. You should keep an eye on it anyway, because last year our run D wasn't good. It was bad. So we all should be watching it anyway. But if you're going to make your determination off of what you saw tonight, you can't do that. We're not really going to know, honestly, until about week 3. When we have consecutive back-to-back games where we giving up runs and teams rushing for 100, then we can say, yeah, bro, this run D ain't good. I can't say that tonight. But keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. But I will say this. My next 2 bullet points. Miles Jack and Larry O will be assets to this defense. I saw Ogunjobi making some plays when the run was limited. Again, I got to watch the game again. I wish I had all 22 for preseason. If any of you guys have access to it, please let me know. You know, the NFL Plus, which used to be Game Pass, hasn't offered it, so I don't have access to it. If y'all do, please let me know how to get it. I can only watch TV tape, but when I go back and watch the game again, I'm gonna pay attention to that, you know, the trenches, because the line of scrimmage is where we lost the battle of the line of scrimmage quite often tonight. So I'm gonna be looking at individual things to see who did what, but I really need that all 22 to really see it. But again, I'm not making any haste judgments tonight. Just keep an eye on it. But I'm going to tell you that Miles Jack and Larry O are going to be special. They're going to be good players for the Steelers. Miles Jack be all over the place. All over the place. He does the things that you expect Bush to do. And let's talk about Devin Bush. After seeing his training videos early in the summer, how he's able to move, what did I say? Okay, so it's not a physical thing anymore. Clearly it's not physical. So I was like, okay, I think you should be able to play freely. He's not. Devin Bush just is not diagnosing plays. He's not attacking. Did y'all see the one play when he literally got spun around? At one point, the dude was just patting him in the back. He got spun around. He bouncing him around like a pinball. Dog. It's not looking good. I don't know if he turns it around. I don't know what's happening, man. And after them comments he made early in the week about, oh, yeah, either way, I'm going to be in the NFL. You sure? You better step it up. Because I'm going to tell you, tonight, the better unit when they played together was Spillane and Jack, not Bush and Jack. Again, I have more to talk about on Tuesday. Sorry I wasn't unable to do a Terrible Towel Tuesday this past week, man. My wife and I had another engagement. I wish I could have, but I'll be back this Tuesday. But yeah, Spillane and Jack were the better pairing tonight. So Devin Bush, it's not looking great. And you better turn it around and do it very quick. And same message to you, James Daniels. You better get it turned around and turn it around quickly. What else I got here? Terrell Edmonds looked solid tonight in run defense. He had some moments. Like to see that. Coming off the edge, nice form tackle. He looks good in that. Steelers defense as a whole struggled a little bit with play action tonight. But as a whole, I think the back end played well, man. I think Levi Wallace had a quietly good game. But I think the back end, the corners and such, Akello had a nice play, nice coverage. They played well. The back end played pretty well, man. So, of course, there were a couple holes that popped in the defense. It happens, guys. And, you got to give credit to Trevor Lawrence. That kid, seems like he's starting to get it, right? And pressure and coverage goes together. So there's always going to be breakdowns in defense, in every defense. It's all about how much of a lid you can keep on it. You know what I mean? But largely, I would say the secondary, the first team played relatively well. And again, like I said, I can remember moments with Levi Wallace and Akello. And, the other guys must have been doing fairly well as well. Let's see. What else do I have? Steelers did not look good on defense third down. In third down situations, they didn't have a great outing tonight. And I already talked about Spillane just showing up more than Bush did. Derek Tuska is trying to make a case for himself. He was very active tonight. Quite often he was very, very active. I have 3 words on this next bullet point. I like Casey. I'm starting to like this Casey. Casey is feisty, scrappy, and he's a sure tackler. At least he looks that way with us. I know he's played with some other teams and maybe fan bases of other teams that have a different opinion, but from what I've seen in 2 preseason games from a Steelers defense perspective, I like what I see out of him. Even the one when he came way out of the secondary on the scrambling QB and got him out of bounds. I like Casey a lot, man, so let's keep our eyes on him and see, how he factors in with the defense. Presley Harvin punted very well tonight. Really like that. Really like that. Tyler Vaughns is making plays late in the fourth quarter. I like the will on this kid, man. I don't know if he makes the team, the 53. I think at the very least he's played himself on the practice squad. But I just like the will of this guy. You know, his will. It's like he's trying to make a play every time he touches the ball. You know, he's getting yak. He's breaking a tackle. He's trying to get upfield. I like it. I like his mentality. So, you know, I'm rooting for him to see where he might land. Again, that 6th wide receiver spot is wide open. It's wide open if the Steelers were to choose to keep a 6th. It's wide open. It's wide open. I mean, is Gunnar O going to affect some of that? Maybe. But we'll see. We'll see. And last but not least, man, Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson had a quiet good game. Quiet good game if you watched him in totality. And this guy, like my man Tony would say, he'd be out there busting. He's a hitter. He's the Vince Williams of the defense. Plays downhill, and I mean, he brings the bang every time. If you can develop this guy, man, I think you got something there. And here's what's interesting. The depth, right? So once you get past Jack and Spillane and Bush, that 4th spot is wide open. Some people might feel like, oh, it's going to be Marcus Allen. I don't know. You know, Marcus Allen is injured, but I don't know. Because he hasn't played, right? And is Marcus Allen that great as an inside backer? No. Sorry. Are there other teams, guys that will show up on special teams to boot him off the roster? Perhaps. Just saying, I don't know. He could be, I mean, you know, he's been good and important as well on special teams. I don't know. I'm just saying it's going to be hard, man. Mark Robinson is making it hard to not include him in the conversation because to me, he's outplaying Buddy Johnson. And if you notice tonight, based off the rotation, he was the 4th man up. You know, there was moments when it was him and Spillane, and then later in the game, it was him and Johnson. So to me, that speaks clearly that he's ahead of Johnson. Keep an eye on him, man. Keep an eye on him. Think he might be able to turn into something. That's all I got. The only other thing I got, man, and I'll throw it to you guys. Your man, Jannard Avery, had some nice pressures tonight. And again, I know sometimes people only quantify what pass rushers do based on whether they had sacks or not. But no, go back and watch the game early, man. Jannard Avery, he had some decent pressure out there, man. And sometimes that counts. Pressure busts pipes, right? Don't always need sacks, but, you know, he has some decent moments out there. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see who becomes the number 3 at the edge rush position. So we'll see. But it was a couple other guys out there, man. I would like to see how we're going to go with them. Whether they're going to make the team or the practice squad. That kid, Rashid Omakar, whatever his name is, Hamakar. You know, I'm curious to see how he performed in the last game. Leal had some active hands tonight, got him a sack. You know, so it's going to be interesting with those guys who are on the bubble. You know, who makes it, who doesn't. I don't know, like guys like Sims. I don't know if he has enough to make it as a receiver. And can he boot a guy like Gunnar off the roster as a special teams guy? I don't know. So something to take a look at. But that's all I got, guys. I'm going to spend a few minutes with you guys in the chat because, again, this now makes literally the second time I did the show tonight. Thankfully, this one was live because if it wasn't, I won't do it again. But that's all I got. Overall, man, look, the Steelers still came away with a win. There's a lot to clean up, but it's a lot better to clean those things up after a victory. My biggest takeaways is, guys, you know, specific dudes on the offensive line. I'm not liking. Sonny Nolo says the O-line is terrible. Yeah, but again, guys, I think y'all go crazy too early. Let's let the season start before we just, you know, again, I'm not going to tell you guys how to react. You're welcome to react the way you want, but let's see a little more. What I would do is I would definitely put them out there next game. I would have the starting O-line out there. Might make them play a whole half. Because I don't think the entire offensive line is bad. That's why I wish I could see the all 22. Right now, the guys who stick out to me is James Daniels and Dan Moore. I don't know if there was, I don't know if there's much issues with Mason Cole. I didn't pay so much attention to Kevin Dotson tonight. And Chooks didn't seem to be, but again, some of you guys might have been watching that solely and maybe saw more than I did. So when I rewatch the game, I'll have a little bit more to say on Tuesday. And again, if any of you guys have all 22 access in the preseason, please let me know how to get it. NFL Plus doesn't have it because that would really tell you more of the story, more so than just watching the TV film. I'm agreeing with Daryl Dukes there. The O-line is going to take a little bit, man. But again, if you guys want to make that determination tonight, have at it. I just won't. So if you guys are curious to know why I might not say certain things, that's my reasoning. Robert Tamburo says, Kenny doesn't just energy the O-line, but also D, special teams, gets extra spark from Kenny's energy. Hey, Sim. Yeah, we can say that. Yeah, I agree with you, Kenyon. I think Mason Cole has played well because we haven't seen the Kendrick Green moments with Mason Cole. Can we all agree with that? But yeah, I do think I think Kenny seems to be giving the team a spark. It does seem that way. But again, let's not discount, guys, that Trubisky is playing well too, right? And like I said, what I said in the last show I just did that wasn't recorded, I said that the Steelers are in the best situation they could possibly be in right now. They have a veteran quarterback that's playing well, managing the team and managing the game and making some nice throws. They didn't get in the end zone, but he's playing well. And then you have a guy like Kenny Pickett that seems to be ascending, and you don't have to rush it. Why are we rushing it? Guys, we have a luxury right now. Trubisky is playing decent. So we have the luxury to allow him to play and see if he can continue to play. And if he starts to not play well, you have your first round pick who seems to be semi-ready. That's a win-win situation. But we don't have to start Kenny Pickett week 1. You understand? It's supposed to be a slow process. Let's see. Somebody said something about a knee-jerk reaction to the O-line, and I wanted to comment on that. Sonny says it's not a knee-jerk. The O-line been stinking, so it's a continuous problem. But again, Sonny, see your statement right there. It's not the same people, right? So I feel you guys. I feel y'all 100%. The O-line wasn't great last year, but this is a new crop as far as there's new pieces there. And what have I been saying for the last year or two? When these things happen, it takes time. You're rebuilding. Again, Steelers fans, we can't expect to get everything we want just like that. It might take some serious commitment and investment in the offensive line, which means you can't do everything else. It's a process. Y'all, you understand what I'm saying? So I'm agreeing with you as far as your critique. But when people say, because I have this conversation with my father-in-law a lot, when you say, man, it's the same as last year, I get it, but it's new people. The Steelers are putting new people in place every year trying to make things better. So let's see what this year brings to the table. But I'm with you. We all should be paying attention to that O-line to see what's up with it. Mr. Covington says we need Roquan Smith. I'm just wondering what it's going to cost to get him. I'm just curious to know what it would take to get him. I mean, the way Miles Jack is already showing himself, I can only imagine if he had somebody like Roquan Smith beside him. Wow. Robert Tumburo says Mason is not mobile enough to survive behind the Steelers' subpar O-line. Trubisky can escape, but Kenny escapes plus makes a play after escaping. Yeah, and again, guys, you're seeing, in my opinion, I can't prove this to be fact, but you're seeing Matt Canada adjust to the fact that the O-line might not be the greatest because that pocket is on the move. The pocket is on the move a lot, and I love it. I love it. DJ Chris Stat says, new crew, new champions, be real. We weren't a microwave team. That's it. That's it. Lagoon, my man Lagoon says, O-line needs to clean up their act for real. Mitch has to work hard, but I give them until at least the fourth game in the season. Yeah, we just got to see, you know. And again, I don't think any of us are wrong. Like shout outs to Sonny. Any of us who feel like the O-line is horrible, you might not be wrong. I'm just saying, let's see it. Let's see it more so we can be concrete in it and say, all right, it's been 3 games and same production. Then we can say, yeah, this ain't gonna be a great year. You know what I mean? Enigma says, even with the subpar performance from the O-line, Kenny was still able to lead and move the chains. Yep, absolutely. Rajan says, looking bad in preseason and camp is good in some way because it shows what you need to work on. Yeah, you know, there's always that narrative as well. Absolutely. Daryl Duke says, Ramon Foster have been saying just wait on the O-line by the first 4 to 5 games on DK Sports. And he's an offensive lineman, and he would know. Tony Carson says, they use the tight ends to block more for Kenny, just saying. Okay? Christian Weatherspoon says, Mason don't fit our new offense. Yeah, and I think we all know that. Mason has not played bad in these 2 preseason games, in my opinion. Kenyon says, drafting O-lineman in the first round doesn't guarantee a great O-line. I'm sorry. Yeah, I will agree with Kenyon as well. None of these things are guarantees, guys. Wave Dave says, all of these games are test runs. All of these QBs are going to get different play calls. Yep. You know, the offense is still a little vanilla right now. It's preseason. Brett Richards says, how come every time when a good player asks for a trade, we always got to be fans to say trade for him? I'm going to give Brett a round of applause. I'm with you, Brett. And you must definitely be listening, man, on these shows. I say that all the time, guys. Steelers fans want every person that is asking for a trade. They want to pick every top draft pick. They want to sign every top free agent. And they want to sign, they want to re-sign every player that they like on our team. It just don't work like that, guys. Especially with the trade thing. I know as fans, a lot of times we want that, but you don't know what's going on in the front office. You don't know what it's going to take to get this player. You don't know what type of discussions they're having. Like maybe Roquan wants a trade and a deal. So it takes 2 to tango. You always have to remember that. Because you know what happens a lot of times too, Brett? When that doesn't happen, people say, man, the Steelers ain't even trying to go after so-and-so. How do we know that? Where's the proof that tells us that? So, yeah, it's crazy, man. But that's our fan base. I love y'all to death. Let's see. A couple more, and then I'm out of here. I'm with you, Tony Carson. He says Dan Moore and Daniels definitely need to improve. Yeah, right now, it's those 2 guys that's sticking out the most. Charlie, is it Comer? Says O-line is concerning, but KP is the real deal. Yeah, Kenny's looking good, man. Kenny's looking good so far. The Cuda70 says the Jags have a new coaching crew with a super coach. We have a lot of new coaches and they're still learning. Yeah. But no excuses. No excuses whatsoever. I mean, the fact of the matter is we really have a team that's in rebuild mode. That's just the truth. And we're trying to reload as we rebuild the best we can. Christian Weatherspoon says, life without Juju looked pretty good so far. Okay, I ain't mad at that, but I never thought Juju was the problem. I really liked Juju Smith-Schuster. Real Fact says, hopefully Mitch plays well throughout the season, combined with the media and some fans. When he struggles, the Pickett chance will begin. Yeah, of course. You already know that. It says, again, Jags have top-tier talent in their front seven. See, that's another thing. You know what, Carmichael? Let me give you a round of applause. And I could probably end with that last comment. Whoa, hold on. Before I go to your comment, I just saw another one really quick. I'm going to come back to your comment, but Enigma says, Kenny QB1, Mason at QB2, even though there's rumors of a trade, and Mitch at QB3. Huh? Now, Enigma, I want you, listen, again, we're all family. We don't always have to agree. I want to hear your assessment of why would you put Mitch at 3? You would put Rudolph over Trubisky. Based off of what we've seen in these 2 games, how do you come to that conclusion? And why do we want to rush Kenny Pickett to be number 1? Guys, like, again, from a business standpoint, this is the best situation you could be in. This is what the Steelers would have loved to have happen when Tommy Maddox was the quarterback and Ben was waiting, is have a veteran that plays well and then bring in your draft pick. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about as far as Mitch and Kenny have been solid. Like, none of them, to me, has lost their depth chart position except for Kenny has jumped over Rudolph. But going back to what my man was saying, I know a lot of times, guys, we always want to say an offensive line is bad or defensive line is bad or this player is bad. Sometimes you do also have to recognize who they're going against. The Jags have a monstrous front seven. So again, when I get the all-22, what I would be looking for is technique, how they're approaching some of this, their punch, the kick step, their anchor, all of those type of things to see why they're getting beat. But sometimes you have to give it up take your hat off to the opposing talent. So it's not always in a vacuum. You know, again, that's why I always like to use my reference of don't be a highlight watcher. It's not always just that. You got to look at things in their totality before you can determine how. Like last year, we were able to determine that Kendrick Green wasn't good at center after we saw several games because he just can't handle power. He just can't. So that's all I'm saying. Let's see the offensive line in more situations against more competition, against more matchups. And then right around, week 4 or 5, if they still just playing like garbage, then we can say, yeah, these guys here, whichever guy it is, then you can make your determination. But just not off of just, sometimes you got to give credit to the talent that they faced off against. So. But all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. Wrap this thing up. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves tonight. Very good viewership, man. So I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate all of you for watching. I appreciate everyone who will be watching this on the replay for the first time. So thank you in advance. And I appreciate everybody who donated tonight. And again, here we go, man. We almost there, guys. Get familiar with this. I think I'm going to rearrange some of this stuff here on the screen, man, and just, give it a little bit of a makeover in terms of what I'm presenting. I'm going to keep my background. I think that's classic, but some other stuff might be coming shortly as we get this thing underway, man. I hope we have a great season together, and I hope our Steelers have a wonderful season. So, got one more preseason game, and we'll see. But I will be back with you guys. Should be on Tuesday. I don't have anything planned as of yet. Again, guys, make sure if you're on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, because if there's ever a time that I can't make the show like this past week, I will tweet it out. so you're fully aware. But again, if you're new to watching this, I do Terrible Towel Tuesday each and every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where I recap the game. That's usually the more controlled recap. Post-game show is just knee-jerk reaction. All right? So that's going to do it. But before I go, I'm going to remind you, if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you like the content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And once you're subscribed, make sure you click on your notifications so you're fully aware of when videos are posted or live streams are happening. Outside of that, I hope you guys have enjoyed your weekend. Enjoy tomorrow, the rest of your weekend. God bless. Good night. Stay safe. And I thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Post-Game Show, presented by the Steel Basement, excuse me. Catch y'all later. Peace.